Okay, so healthy good evening to all of you for this next offline session of ATAL FDP program, Hybrid Microgrid Opportunity and Challenges for Renewable Energy Sources. I am Dr. Shivam, Assistant Professor of Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department, NIT Kurukshetra, co-coordinator of ATAL FDP. Heartily welcome today chief guest of the day, ER Aditya sir. He is a senior software engineer in Oracle, India, and coordinator of the ATAL FDP, Professor Ratna Dahiya, and co-coordinator of School of Renewable Energy and Efficiency, Professor in Electrical Engineering Department, NIT Kurukshetra, and the faculty member and participant of the event. The primary objective of the ATAL FDP is to provide a national forum to the faculty and research scholars to share the basic knowledge with an objectives of understanding the concepts, aspects of penetration of renewable energy sources, electric vehicles, and with hybrid microgrid operation. Now, I would like to address of today's session speaker, ER Aditya sir. Currently he is a senior software engineer in Oracle, India. Sir has given lots of lecture on, we can say, for dealing with the problems of youth, such as overcoming addiction, depression, etc., and helping students as well as faculty for their full potential. So sir is IT Roorkee alumni. Yes. So he did BTech from the IT Roorkee in 2018 batch. And he is the recipient of KVYP PY 2013, ACURA 2016, and DAAD 2017 fellowship at ITR also, Roorkee. Conducted various seminars. He has conducted various seminars on leadership and personality development at various institutions, such as, we can say, especially IT Roorkee, IT Delhi, and he has had given one seminar for students, Mind Your Mind. So sir has lots of experience for making motivation for the faculty as well as students. So in that way, I welcome to Aditya sir for the today's session. Thank you, sir. Please.
Am I audible to everyone clearly? Okay, just so you so as to know the audience, how many of you are pursuing PhD currently? Okay, and remaining 4, I mean, your MTech, you all 4 MTech. Okay, and any faculty members except Shivam sir? No. Okay, so as you know, my name is Aditya, and I'm currently working as a senior software developer at Oracle. You all are familiar, fine with English, right? Because I guess we have some, okay. So I've given many seminars based on ethical values and based on our Vedic scriptures in different academic and corporate institutions. So I'll try my best to make this seminar not boring for all of you, and it will be more of a interaction also. So there will be times when I'll be taking inputs from your side. So just keep an eye on what we are discussing. So the topic is very interesting. You all know, search for happiness. Actually, like I said, you all are from different branches, right? Even in PhD, you are pursuing in different fields, right? So some of you are pursuing PhD, some of you are pursuing MTech, and I am currently doing a job. And in this campus, you will find all of us, the common aspiration for all of us to become an engineer, right? But if you go outside the campus, you will find there are many people who may have all sorts of different varieties of aspirations, right? You will find some people who also want to become doctor. There are some people who wants to go in business line. There are some people who actually, wants to do MBA or management studies, like that. And there are some people who don't even want to do anything, just want to sit back and relax in their life. But it doesn't matter whether we want to do engineering or doctor, or we want to go in medicine, or we want to pursue management. What actually matters is, if you observe carefully, if I ask you what is your goal, so you will say, okay, I want to become successful in this line. But for that also you have a purpose, right? You want to, perhaps you want to earn a lot of money, or perhaps if you get a good job, you'll get married to your suitable partner, etc. So there are different purpose also behind our aspirations. But ultimately there is one common aspiration, that we all want to become happy in our life. You agree? Right? So yes, so that common aspiration is behind every single person, either in this campus or outside the campus, either in this country, or you can go to any country. Whatever that person is doing, ultimately he wants to become happy in his or her life, right? So based on this, we are searching for happiness in whatever we do. Sometimes we achieve some kind of pleasures, sometimes we fail to achieve that, and how to deal with those situations, that we are going to discuss in this seminar. So you all know this personality? You all of you know, right? Who is he? Elon Musk. Okay. So everyone knows he is Elon Musk. Now another interesting questions. Let's start with some general knowledge, so that we will remain attentive, and we will also be get to know what I wanted to convey. So Elon Musk, we all know who he is, or what is Elon Musk. What about Musk? Anyone know what is Musk? No, that is Tusk. Anyone familiar? What is Musk? No. Any guesses? No, mask is different. That is mask. Nice try, by the way.
There is a movie Three Musketeers.
No, that is not related with this. So have you heard about this Hindi word called kasturi? You heard that, right? Kasturi methi is different, but actual kasturi is a herb, medicinal herb, which has a very strong fragrance. It smells very nicely, and it's very costly because of its fragrance. It's a very rare, you can say, medicine, a herb. And you know where this kasturi is found? Anyone know? This musk, like I said, it's a herb which has very strong fragrance. Yes, it's found from a very rare variety of deer that is known as musk deer because of its name. Another question, you know where this musk is found in that deer? No, navel. You know navel? This is musk deer. If you observe carefully, they have very strong teeth here. And they are only this variety of deer have a very strong substance in their navel that is known as musk, which has a very strong fragrance. But what happens is the deer itself doesn't know from where this smell is coming. So he runs here and there everywhere, since morning. He wakes up, he takes his food and whatever it is, whenever he is hungry. After that, all his time he spent in finding from the source of this smell, the fragrance. And he just goes on searching and searching. Whole throughout the day, he searches for that smell. At the end of the day, he becomes tired. He takes rest. Next day, again, the search operation starts. So the point is, the way this musk deer is searching for the smell, the source of the smell, the same way we all are actually looking for different sources of happiness in our life. But somehow it so happens that unlike the deer, if we analyze or if we introspect carefully, we can see that there are certain things in our life. If we manage those things, if we work on that, these are known as psychometric factors. If we work on those psychometric factors, we'll find that the source of happiness, like the source of musk, is inside us only. How? That we will see. So what is happening when we don't know these things? Like the musk deer, also we are looking for different varieties of things, new gadgets which comes in the market. We think, okay, if I purchase this gadget, we'll become happy. Or new, like a restaurant opens, we go there and say, and we think that if I go and I try new varieties in this restaurant, we will become happy. And we just go on experimenting and experiment things with all sorts of varieties. But again, we don't become satisfied with that. See, one of the very first symptom of happiness is you are satisfied. For example, a person who is earning only 10,000 per month, but he is living a simple life and he is satisfied with his life. So there is a symptom that he is happy to some extent. On the other hand, there is another person who is earning, suppose, 99,999. Okay. So instead of becoming satisfied with that much figure, he will be striving for extra 1 rupee so that his figure will be increased by 1 more digit. So if you compare the two persons here, the first person earning only 10,000 but living a simple life, is content in his life, is likely to be more happy as compared to the second person who is not satisfied and still striving in anxiety for 1 extra salary. So here is the difference. Same way, until we know or until we work on those psychometric factors, our situation is also like this musk deer. We are just running here and there, trying and experimenting on all different sorts of experiments and varieties to gain happiness. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we become tired and then we take rest. Next day again, our search for happiness starts, like the same musk deer. So we don't become happy. But again, another conception of happiness is if somebody is smiling, we think that he is happy. Is that the case? If you go to a hospital, recently one of my friends is admitted in hospital. So if you go there, you will find all different varieties of patients. Some are sick, some are very sick, some are on the verge of death. And those who are still lying on the bed, if you ask them, how are you doing? They will say, I'm fine. But from their symptoms, do you think that he is fine? He's lying on a ventilator, or he has just gone through some operations and all those things. Everything is painful. But still, if you ask them, they will say, I'm fine. So just by having a smile or a mask on your face doesn't prove that you are happy. So there is a saying that says, their minds are pierced by desires, hearts are filled with fears, they are on the verge of tears, and they say, cheers. And now, very recently, we are again going to say, Happy New Year. Every year at the end or in the beginning, we wish each other Happy New Year, right? But if you analyze your whole year, you see like there were hardly any chances when we're truly very happy, right? Especially during COVID times, we cannot even think. The biggest achievement, people are even thinking to write in their resume that the biggest achievement in their life in the year 2022 is that they survived. So there are different psychologists. They have started this human personality. They have studied this human personality and they have divided into 4 psychometric factors. And study has suggested that if we work on these 4 psychometric factors, and if you are able to have a good investment in those 4 psychometric factors, then there is very much likely that whatever we are aiming in our life, first of all, those purpose, the aim, those goal of life will be reasonable. And second, we will remain satisfied irrespective of what the external circumstances are. How much, doesn't matter how much challenging it is, we will be able to deal with them very nicely as compared to a normal person. So the first psychometric factors of human personality is physical quotient. Okay, so the objective of physical quotient is to live in such a way that we keep ourselves always healthy and strong in body, mind, and intelligence, so that, this is important, we can distinguish the goal of life from a life full of problems. Now, how many of you can claim that there is no problem in your life? Anyone? Okay. You can make it full screen. So this is, like I said, the objective of physical quotient is to remain physically sound and strong so that you can be able to distinguish the goal of life from a life full of problems. In our scriptures, Kurukshetra is famous for what? Go ahead. Bhagavad Gita. Yes, the message of Bhagavad Gita, the transcendental message of Bhagavad Gita was given in Kurukshetra. And we see that even now in Florida University and Oxford University, management courses have been started on the Bhagavad Gita. I guess here also we have got one course for the first years. That's a good thing. So in that Bhagavad Gita only, there are few terms that mentioned about what different varieties of problems we are getting in our day-to-day life. There are some problems which are, the definition of problem is, first, that nobody wants it. Second, nobody can avoid it. For example, you all are having different exams, like evaluations of your thesis or whatever you are submitting. So those examinations may seem a problem to you, right? Because they will ask so many questions, they will evaluate what will happen if I don't perform well. So many anxieties are there. So it's kind of problem. You don't want it. Somehow it gets managed. You always wish these kind of situations. But for a person or a small boy who is playing outside, this examinations, PhD evaluations, it doesn't matter to them. So this is not a problem for them. Same way for a school going student, they have their exams, right? Like for someone who is doing a corporate job, so they have like what do you say, like their boss is giving them hard time. So next day boss is saying that, okay, within 2 days you have to submit your presentation and you have to prepare this and you have to complete this and that. So many things are there. So for that person, his boss is the problem. But for all of you people sitting here, that particular boss is not at all a problem. You don't care what that boss is giving and what that boss is asking. So there are relative problems which are actually problems for someone, but for some other person they are not. But there are some absolute problems which are actually problems, which means these are applicable for everyone. In our Vedic text only, these problems are defined as Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam, like that. And apart from that, like your old age, invalidity in the old age, death, disease, all those things are defined as problems. Apart from that, there are different terms called klesha. Klesha means miseries. Different things, again, it's like subcategories of problems. It has been categorized into 3 parts: Adhyatmik, Adibhautik, and Adidevik. Adhyatmik means the problems which are arising because of my own body and mind. Like my health is not good, or my mind is not, like I'm having low phase in my life, going through inferiority complex, depression, so many things are there. All those factors comes under Adhyatmik klesha. Then comes Adibhautik. Adibhautik means the other person, because of external factors, I'm getting problem. Like you took my pen, or you beat me up, all those things, right? Teacher is giving hard time. So these are called Adibhautik klesha. The third one is called Adidaivik, like these calamities, this COVID pandemic, all those things, earthquakes, so much cold is there, right, in the morning. So all these are Adidaivik. So these are all the problems. So therefore, the definition of physical quotient is to remain at least physically fit and strong so that you can remain focused on the goal of your life. You see, the health is the very first thing which actually hampers and creates a big hindrance on your path. If your health is not good, forget about other things. You cannot do, right? And you will, even if you are doing, you will not be able to give your best. So physical quotient basically contains healthy body, physical well-being, proper nutrition. For example, if all of you are hungry, too much hungry, then even if I like invite you for a seminar or something, you won't be interested, right? You say that first hunger, then we'll see later on whatever comes. Okay. So these are the physical quotients which are important. But physical quotient in itself is not sufficient. If you are physically fit, you see there are many like people who are very physically fit, but if you see, they are having very hard time in their life. So the next psychometric factors that psychologists have considered in their evaluation is IQ. What does IQ means? Intelligence quotient. So a very concise and high level definition of IQ is ability to think and reason. Logical, basically logical interpretation of things, logically how things should be, how it should work, and interpreting results accordingly. So our brain. Let's start.
Can we move like this?
Is there any problem?
So slide is not working or no?
No, it's working.
Right. Okay. It's okay.
We can make it full screen. No.
No, but the online full screen is not slide changing. That's right.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, that's fine. So we were the intelligent quotient. So ability to think and reason. So basically logically interpreting how things should be, logically expecting how things and should happen, and accordingly doing the efforts or giving the input. So there's something called IQ test, like different famous personalities you will get on the internet also, how much their IQ was, like Albert Einstein, Blaise Pascal, different scientists or normal people also. You can conduct your IQ test and you can get to know how much your IQ score is. In the beginning of 20th century, there was so much craze of becoming scientist. Like now, right now in India especially, the first thing that parents want for their children is to become either doctor or engineer. So how exactly it happens that in India, first a child becomes an engineer, and then he finds his talent, and then he decides what he actually wants to do in his life. So if you go in 1980s, the same craze, the craze what we have for medicine and engineering, the same craze was for becoming a barrister. So in old movies also you will find that people have very much passion into becoming a lawyer kind of thing. But in the beginning of 20th century, people, especially outside India, in India, like India was like colonized at that time, but outside India, the intelligent minds, naturally it was expected for them to become a scientist or to go into the field of science. So parents used to conduct IQ test for their children, and if they used to get a score between above 115, so they used to become very much satisfied and very much happy, thinking, okay, now my child has so much, such a nice IQ score he has, certainly he will become a scientist. And if he becomes scientist, he will become a big scientist, perhaps he will get Nobel Prize and will become famous as well. So that was the IQ score. If you analyze the brain, so there are two partitions. There are left side of the brain and right side of the brain. The left side are more into knowledge stuffs like mathematics, science, and all those things. And the right side is creativity. Left side is for logical ability and reasoning, and right side is for creativity. If some of you like some musician, poet, artist, so means your right side is more functional or more active at that time. And if you're more into like you are in PhD and like more scholar kind of thing, philosophy, it means then your left side of the brain is more active comparatively. So Albert Einstein says that, so okay, here one more thing. So if only left side of your brain is working, suppose your right side of the brain is not working, so then it creates a certain kind of situation that everything will be logically processed. For example, there was a very funny story. One scientist was there. So he has his servant. So he also has one cat. And after some time, the cat gave birth to 4 or 5 kittens. So he thought, okay, in my room, I think I should allow cat also to freely enter, because my big door is sometimes, most of the time it is closed. So what I'll do, I'll create a small door for the cat. And he called his servant. He said, okay, create one small door entrance for the cat. So he said, okay, or bring something, I'll create myself. So what he did, with an instrument, he made a big hole sufficient enough for that cat to enter and go freely. At the same time, after some time, the servant went out, and again he came back, and he saw there are 4 or 5 smaller holes apart from that, the bigger hole. So he said that, sir, okay, I can understand the big hole, the purpose, but why you have created so many small holes? So the scientist said, see, you have to think logically. So logically, if the big cat, we have made entrance for the big cat, right? But what about the kittens? You also need to think about them. So for them also I have created entrance so that they can also come and go freely. And the servant was scratching his head. So this kind of thing happens when your only left part is working. And when only your right part is working, it means like there is no logic in anything what you are doing. And if both part are like super active, so those people are known as geeks. Albert Einstein says that logic will get you from A to Z, but imagination will get you everywhere. So it's not, sometimes it's not that only logical thinking is enough in whatever we are doing, in whatever we are deciding in our life. We also have to imagine what happens if we have like in this institution, everyone is supposed to have a good sufficient enough IQ, otherwise they won't be pursuing engineering, right? And what question is, suppose if you have, we cannot play this in this mode, I guess we have to do full screen now. This is a video. So this is a small clip that will show you what happens when you only have IQ, but you are not able to channelize those IQ properly. You can click here, make it full screen, and then it will be played. Just observe carefully. It's not opening.
It is linked to Drive, Google Drive. The file is not in this. Maybe I think that will be the Google Drive or is your pen drive.
Okay, I'll give you. Just give a few seconds. Technology has its own.
And supporting files in the other.
Yeah, that is fine. Or maybe you can connect it from this. Will that be fine?
I will let you know. You can.
Pen drive? I have video. I can. Do you have pen drive?
You can make post.
No, I'll give you in pen drive that video.
Only that.
Yes, there are 2 small clips. I'll give it to you. Here. So we can very easily relate with the incident that is going on in this clip, and that people sitting in this video are not fool. They have good sufficient number of IQ, but sometimes it may happen that some challenging situations comes in our life, and instead of instead of using logic at that particular time, we fail to even use logic, that what will be the result of the consequences of the actions that we are going to perform as part of reaction to that situation. You can separately play that video in that pen drive. It's there in the folder.
Which one?
Video. First one. First one. No, not this. This one.
Which one?
Yeah. These people having good IQ and logical thinking, in spite of that, when certain situation comes in their life, certain provoking situations or challenging situations, at that time, instead of using their IQ, they succumb to their emotions. They're not able to channelize it properly, and as a result, this kind of things happen. In fact, in IT sector, I can tell you from my experience what I have seen so far. And as per the proper statistics, 36% of techies in Bangalore show sign of psychiatric disorder. Bangalore is known as, yes, IT city. But at the same time, it is also like, it is known as IT capital of India. At the same time, it is also known as suicide capital of India. Why? Because these IT people, they are coming from different premium colleges in India. But in spite of that, they are the one who commit maximum number of suicides in Bangalore. Why? Because of different, of course, challenges are there, difficulties are there, pressure is there, but they are supposed to be like, they are also having high IQ. They are supposed to be more reasonable and to understand by their logic that ending life is not a problem, is not a solution to any problem. But they fail to realize this and they commit suicide. And these are further statistics. 27.6% of IT professionals in India are addicted to narcotic drugs. 66% of CEOs in India are stressed out, and 11% find it too much to handle. Over 50% IT employees face depression and stress at some phase of their corporate lives. This is about India. In Western world, in West, the situation is even more degrading. In USA, 1 out of every 5th person are visiting psychiatric, are having psychiatric problems. They are facing psychiatric problems. They are visiting psychiatrists. And among those psychiatrists, hearing their negativities, hearing their so many problems, they become so much low in their life that those psychiatrists start, a certain fraction of those psychiatrists start visiting another psychiatrist. And psychiatrists are in fact committing suicides. There are situations. Not only this, if you can Google it. In fact, now there are psychiatric centers for animals in Western world. Means you will find psychiatric centers, psychiatric shops for dogs and cats, because these are the common pets you can find very easily in the West. These dogs and cats are very normal animal. They're very normal. But because they are associating with their masters who are having problems, they stop barking. And they become low in their life. And they are visiting, they need to have a daily visit to psychiatric centers to recover from depression. So the dogs are going into depression. Why? Because their masters are having so much negativities in their life. When they share with the dog, when the dog understands, he forgets about his happy life and he starts becoming down. So this is the situation in the West. The place where I'm staying, I'm currently working in Hyderabad. So the place where I'm staying, just in front of my room, there's a 7-story big building. It's an office purpose. So before I went there, a few months ago only, a young lady just jumped from the top of the building and committed suicide. She was hardly 24 years old. You see, at this phase of life, people are just ending their life because they think that ending life is the problem. And because even though they are having IQ, they're not able to rationalize the reason of committing suicide, whether it is really worth it or not, or whether it is worth it at all. Yes. So then these psychologists, they came up with another very important question, important factor, that is known as EQ. Anyone know the meaning of this? EQ? Emotional quotient. They have figured it out that these people, even though having good intelligence, even though very sharp memory, they are doing these kind of things. What is the reason behind that? So they have analyzed that actually during these challenging times, they are having surge of emotions, either positive or negative. Sometimes even positive emotions can create havoc in life. You know what? I'll tell you one story. There was a man who went to a forest, and he, like kind of a wildlife photographer. So he was sleeping under a tree, and where he was sleeping, there were 2 holes. In one hole, after some time, a cobra snake came, and he bite that man, and he went back to the hole immediately. The man felt something in his leg, and he woke up, and he saw that from the another hole, one rat is coming out, and he thought maybe this rat has bitten me. He became angry that I have not done anything to this rat. Why this rat is probably giving me a hard time? I'll not leave him. I'll beat him now. So he chased the rat, and it was like a Tom and Jerry show. The rat was running here and there, thinking, what I've done to this man? Why he is behind me? And after a long tussle, somehow the rat could not be captured, and somehow rat went back safely to his hole. But rat was very confused. Rat was thinking, like, this is not fair. See, I'm an innocent person, and this man has given me, he had made me run like so many kilometers. So I'll give him hard time. Perhaps he's thinking that I have beaten him, but I have not beaten him. Now I'll beat him. Now I'm going to bite him. So that man, after chasing rat, the rat went into the hole. The man again came back and thought, okay, again I'll sleep. So he again lied down. And while rat was thinking all these things, the man was not, sorry, the man again wanted to teach rat a lesson. So he again went to that hole, and he started kicking that hole to the rat. Oh, rat, come out, I'll teach you a lesson. So instead of rat, what happened? This time cobra came out. And seeing the cobra, the man got a heart attack. He could not, and he died. Now the question is, what actually killed the man? Who killed the man? That fear actually killed the man. Because of that fear, the man got heart attack and he died. So there is one more story that one person, how like there is a lottery system, right? People buy lotteries and they see if they have won or not. One person was very addicted to buying lottery every day or every week perhaps. So during his young time when he was working, every day without fail he used to buy one lottery and he used to try his luck whether he has won or not. And it so happened that so far for the last many years he had not won anything. He became old, he got retired from his job. Still he was doing he was regularly executing this practice. After some time he became very invalid, like bedridden. So he was not able to move also, like he could not go out, forget about purchasing anything. So he requested his son that, see, this is the legacy I'm doing. Every week I'm purchasing a lottery, even though I'm not winning. It feels good. Maybe someday I will win something. Who knows? Or maybe I don't, but still on my behalf, you go and buy this lottery. So the son said, okay, just lottery, just one lottery. No, it's fine. Every week he used to buy a lottery. It so happened that once the man just was checking whether he has won or not, and he won 7 crore rupees in lottery. Now this man the son became little worried. He said that if I give this news to my father, perhaps he will not be able to handle it. So he went to his family doctor and he told him that, you please help me to convey this message to my father so that he can take it easily. So his father said, okay, we should not actually tell immediately that you have won this much amount. He might not be able to handle it. So let me think. So he said, okay, you do one thing, doctor, you come with me and you tell my father. So the doctor said, okay, I'll help you out, don't worry. So the doctor went to that person and he said, see, you are buying lottery for so much time. Suppose, I'm giving you a hypothetical situation. Suppose if you buy, what will you do if you buy 1 crore rupees? He said, 1 crore? He said, yes. So, okay, if I get 1 crore rupees, what I'll do, I'll buy a big house to live in. So he said, okay. I said, okay. He handled 1 crore very easily. That's fine. He said, okay, what will you do if I give you 2 crore rupees? He said, 2 crore? He said, oh, hypothetically, suppose, what will you do if I give you 2 crore? He said, okay, what I'll do, I'll buy one extra house just as a backup. And then he said, okay, 2 crore is fine. Then he said, what will you do if I give you 4 crore rupees hypothetically? So he said 4 crore. So he said, okay, 2 crore, I have bought all the properties, whatever I need. For the remaining 2 crore, I will buy like all the facilities, like all the ingredients, grocery, all those things, chairs, furnitures, cars, all those things, insurance, everything I will buy in those 2 crores so that I don't have to purchase anything for the rest of my life or even for my son. Said, okay, 4 crore is also fine. Okay. Now suppose what will you do if I give you 6 crore rupees? Said 6 crore. So he said, okay. So 6 crore, he said, okay, 4 crore I have settled. Remaining 2 crore, what I'll do, I'll deposit in the bank so that in future, in case if I need something, I will get from the interest and I don't need to buy or purchase anything or work anything. So 6 crore, the doctor was relieved now. He said, okay, 6 crore settled, just 1 more crore and then everything is fine. He said, okay, what will you do if I give you 7 crore rupees? So the person said, 7 crore. So he said, you know what? I'll be satisfied in 6 crore. So what I'll do, I'll give that 1 crore to you. When he heard that I'll get 1 crore, he got a heart attack and he died. So he could not handle that news. So see, these emotions, either happiness or fear or distress, all these emotions, how you are channelizing them or how you are dealing with them, how you are handling them, that capability is known as emotional quotient. It is a way of recognizing, understanding and choosing how we think, how we feel and how we act. It shapes our interactions with others and understanding of ourselves. So there are many examples. This emotional quotient is actually the factor which actually helps you to make good relationships, actually which help you to value the relationships. Otherwise, those who are only IQ oriented people, they are just focused on their work like geeks. They are not very much, or they are actually not able to maintain good relationships with people. For them, like, they are just workaholic persons. They don't have very good friends or very intimate friends like that. Even family members are not very intimate or close to them because they know what his nature is. So this emotional quotient, if you are working on this, it will actually help you not only to channelize your emotions, but at the same time to have good relationships with people. Because at the end of the day, it's the relationship that actually counts, right? So there are many people. Now I'll give you some examples where good EQ person, how they have handled the failures or challenges in their life. You know who is he? Already has some. So Thomas Edison, what he is famous for? Bulb and fans he has given. So there are many inventions he has done. So Thomas Alva Edison, during the time he was, experimenting with the invention of bulb, electric bulb, he failed many times. Very familiar, very famous story you might have heard. 999 times he failed, and figuratively, I don't know exactly 999, but suppose he failed many times, and at the end he was successful in inventing an electric bulb. So when the news reporter, he became famous overnight, sensation. So news reporter asked him that, were you not discouraged after failing so many times? So Thomas Alva Edison said, well, he has to say something to cover up, but still point is he still persevered. So he said, yes, I persevered because at every failure I learned something. And what is that? I learned another way of how not to create an electric bulb. And so after all those failures, it actually added, and actually it added to my experience, and that those experiences are very valuable to me, because now I know what are all the avenues where I can fail while creating an electric bulb, and therefore I eliminated all those cases, and at the end I was successful. So this is how this person, he could have given up. He could have given up in the first attempt of failure. He could have given up in the next attempt of failure, or he could have given up after 50 attempts, saying that, okay, I tried so much, I tried so hard, I got so far, but in the end, nothing happened. But he used his EQ and he persevered, and therefore he was successful. That was one of the examples. You all are familiar, many of you are familiar with Ramayana, right? You know what scene is depicted here? Anyone? Very familiar, very famous scene. Yes, when Rama, Lord Ram, Lakshman and Sita got banished for 14 years from Ayodhya. You see, if you just try to analyze the situation, what actually happened during that time. Now everyone knew, let's suppose in Kurukshetra, that I'm going to become a king, and everything is prepared, all the celebrations, the ceremony is just about to start, and suddenly I was called and I was told that, no, you're not going to become a king, you are expelled. You are expelled, and you are not allowed to carry anything with you. For not for few days, or not for 1 semester or 2 semesters, you are expelled for 14 long years. So Rama has a huge fan following. Everyone loved him. When people heard that Ram is going to become king, they were very happy. So Dasarath became little worried. Are they happy because Ram is going to become king, or are they happy because I am going to resign? So he said, perhaps people don't love me. But then his counselors told me, no, it's not like that. People love you, but they love Ram a lot. So when they heard that Ram is going to become a king, so they are automatically and naturally very happy. So they were, practically everyone in Ayodhya were a big fan of Ram, and they could do anything for Ram. So Ram has this privilege that he could rebel. He could rebel like the kind of rebellion we have in political parties. So he can switch parties, or he can say that, no, I'm not going to, or he could have killed them. That was also an option. Nobody would have known. And since everyone loved Ram, so he can easily refuse that, no, I'm not going to get any banishment, I'm going to become king. You can do whatever you want because people are with me. So he could have done a lot of things. Like there are n number of things he could have done to not go to exile. But instead, what he did at that time, see, suppose all of a sudden situation changed for Ram, but he handled it so nicely that he was happy still. He was happy when he heard that he was about to become a king, and he was even more happier when he heard that he is going to get exiled for 14 long years, because he took it as an opportunity, and therefore the situation was handled so nicely that people's love for Ram increased even more. So this is one of the example. The another example again at the land of this Kurukshetra, same nearby only, right? So you know who is he? Arjun. So before the battle, he was ready to fight, but when he saw that on the other side, almost everyone is his family member. Some brothers, some like father-like figures, uncles, grandfather-like figures, teachers, spiritual masters, or junior ones like niece, nephews, and all those personalities with whom he has spent his life. So he became overwhelmed with emotions, so much so that his heart got broken and he said that I could not fight. Then he requested Krishna at that time. The biggest motivational seminar that happened in the world was here only, in the open stadium. There was no mic sound system. The audience was who? The audience were warriors. And instead of copy and pen, what were there in their hands? Weapons. And they were hearing that motivational seminar. And the speaker was Krishna himself. And the main audience, the main recipient of that seminar was Arjuna. So his broken heart got healed after gaining that wisdom. And he was ready to fight and he fought like anything. And ultimately we all know what happened, who won the war. And what was Arjuna's contribution? Imagine if Arjuna would have gone, okay, I'm resigning. I cannot fight. Imagine how situation would have taken place. Or perhaps Pandavas would have lost. But Krishna helped Arjuna to channelize his emotion so that he can use his skill and talent. It's not that Arjuna did not have IQ. He gave his reasons why I don't want to fight. And if you read Bhagavad Gita, you will find that all those reasons are very apt and actually make sense. But he used his IQ to not participate, but Krishna helped him to use his EQ to make him understand the situation and how important is his role to play in that situation. After his emotional quotient is channelized properly, then he used the same emotional quotient to power his IQ in his direction. The other name is another examples like there was a very scholar woman. Her name was Vidyotama. So she was so big scholar that every other scholar used to, they used to have a debate called Shastra at earlier times. So she used to defeat everyone, literally everyone. So they all became envious and they decided a plan to teach her a lesson. They all thought, okay, she is so much proud of her scholarly knowledge. We will do one thing. We will bring a fool number one and we will get her married to that person so that she will become humble by this experience. So what they did, they were looking for that dumb person. So they found that there was a person who is, with his axe, he is cutting a branch of a tree and on the same branch he is sitting. So anytime he can fall. So he said that this person is the perfect suitable candidate to become her partner. So they tell him that, see, we are going to get you married. You don't speak anything. And she perhaps might engage you in a debate. So on your behalf, we will speak. And it so happened that he went with a marriage proposal and he said, okay, you can defeat me in my debate and then I will marry you. So then all these other people, other scholars who were defeated by her, they all sat by him and he said that he has taken a Maun Vrat. He will not speak. So he will just give indications and we will speak on his behalf. We will tell you what he means by that indication. So it so happened after a lot of indications, all those scholars at one side and alone Vidyotama on the other side, she was convinced that, okay, this person is very scholar. And she got married. Later on, she realized, okay, I was fooled and this person is a dumb person, illiterate dumb person. So she criticized him like anything. And at that time, this Kalidas, his name was something else actually at that time. He took those criticisms. He got a lot. He was hurt like anything. So he could have committed suicide. He automatically he would have gone to depression. But his emotional quotient was very strong. So he took those criticism as an opportunity, as a driving force for his determination and motivation. And then he started studying from that point of life, from that point of time. And in due course of time, after a lot of hard work, he became a great scholar known as Kalidas. And some of his very famous compositions are, anyone know? Shakuntala. And there are many more, even I don't know. So these are some of the examples where people are having very high EQ are able to handle the challenging and tough situations in their life. Okay, where even more IQ persons fail to achieve.
Disconnected.
But still, it's been observed that a person overpowered by emotions fails to act intelligently and rationally. We can relate this in our own life, that sometimes it so happens that some situation comes, we get carried away by emotions and we end up saying some things or doing some things which we later regret, right? And if you observe why, because we fail to, we get overpowered by emotions, we get carried away by those emotions. You know what is this? Any football fans here? Okay, so this is recently FIFA World Cup completed. So in India, they were like, people were happy because I believe in India, there were a lot of fans of Argentina. And who was the final contenders? Argentina versus France. 2022. Last football World Cup was in 18. Who was the final contender? France and Croatia. Who won? France won. Before that, when was the year? When was the football World Cup final when France was in final? 90s. After that also there was one World Cup where France went to final. 2006. France, actually 2006, France was not very strong team. Neither, everyone was expecting Germany, Argentina at that time also, that they are very strong contenders. Spain, Germany, Argentina in 2006, like they have big like famous players and like that. So they were expecting that these teams will go to final. Unexpectedly, it took a turn of events and eventually Italy and France went to final in 2006. And now that they are in final, so now people are expecting, it's like something like right now India and Bangladesh cricket match. So everyone will know that, okay, it's not very hard for India to win the match unless something magical turn of events takes place. So at that time also everyone was expecting that who will win the match? France. Why? Because Zidane is there. You know Zidane? He was like powerful player. And with him only, like people are so much hopeful that there is no chance for Italy to win. It so happened the match started and everything was going well. No goal was scored after like quite some time, but eventually Zidane gave the result and there was one goal by Zidane only and France was leading the match. And like everyone was happy, especially the French team, because they were sure and now their dreams are coming true. But something happened at that time that Italy team, one player of, I forgot the name, one player of Italy, he started, provoking Zidane. Provoking in such a way that he do something, he get distracted from giving his best. And he was successful. After scoring the goal, it so happened that he became so much provoked that he just got carried away by aggression and that provocation, that with his head, very famous, he hit his chest. And that person fell flat, Italy player. And all the Italy players became happy. Not because their teammate got hurt and injured, but because Zidane got red card. He got disqualified from further playing in the match. Everyone was happy, especially the Italy team. And now they came into form and eventually they also scored a goal. So Italy and France both scored level. Time is up. Now came the penalties, shootout. So the main person on whom French team was depending is now out. He cannot do. So it so happened the score was 3-5. 5 for Italy. France lost the game. Because Zidane could not channelize his emotion properly, he got carried away with the emotions and got disqualified. With his disqualification also went the hopes for France to win the World Cup. And most importantly, and most unfortunate thing that happened is, with that red card also went the career of Zidane. He had to retire. Of course, in World Cup, if you do such things and get disqualified, no team will, like, you will not be. So out of embarrassment or whatever you can say, he resigned. Resign means he retired. When he was at the peak of his form, he had to resign for that one small act which he did. Can you play this another video? So I'll give you just a glimpse what exactly happened, and you see how it could have been avoided and what would have been the result if this situation Zidane would have at that time gave a little thought, if he would have used his EQ at that time. This is a person, Matt Razil. See what he says now. I am not proud of what happened in 2006. I'm not advising anyone player to behave in the same manner. Such a small act, but what a disaster it created in his life as well as in the hopes of so many fans. Same way, another story from Ramayana. You see, you know this pastime, what happened? This Ravan came from a lineage which is very exalted. His father was a sage, was a very big scholar. His grandfather was such a famous sage, and he was also very scholar that everyone, either them like Devtas and even Rakshasas, everyone used to respect him. He came in that lineage. He himself was a very scholar person. So much scholar that he sang a poem in glorification of Shiva. The poetic meter of that poem is so unique and so what do you say, exalted, that only one person has sang a poem in that particular poetic meter, and that person is Shiva himself. So Lord Shiva became very happy, and like he got a lot of boons and so many things. But see, in spite of having the scholar knowledge and in spite of having such exalted lineage, because of urges and because of lust, because of anger, he could not, at many times he could not control his emotions. He got carried away, and in that he did so many nefarious acts. One of them actually led to his death. So it's very important. IQ point of view, I mean, you cannot even imagine how much IQ Ravan has, but EQ failed. And it's not like normal people fails and do such kind of things. One we already saw, like the football mega star at that time, he did some such kind of act. Many times, because we fail to channelize our emotions, sometimes out of, when we get carried away, we don't realize what is good and what I should do and what I should not do. We lose the sense of discrimination, and we take such steps that sometimes we cause harm to our nations, sometimes we cause harm to our society in which we are living, sometimes we cause harm to our family, but most of the time we cause harm to ourselves by committing suicides. You see, these are the very famous celebrities, so famous that people idolize them. They are heroes and idols for so many people, so many fans they have, but still they were not happy. They were not satisfied with their life, and they took drastic step of committing suicide. This is Marilyn Monroe. In 60s, she was considered as the most beautiful person in the world. One day she was just looking at the mirror, doing her makeup, and suddenly, anyway, her hair is white. Suddenly she noticed that one hair became white. She realized she is getting old. She could not digest this fact. She committed suicide. She wanted to die young. The next one is, anyone know him? II captain Robin Williams. He is a very Hollywood megastar, a very famous comedian who used to make people laugh like anything. But he himself, in his own life, he was suffering from depression. A person who made everyone laugh through his movies, through his skills. He himself was depressed. He himself was not able to, use his emotional quotient, and he took this drastic step of committing suicide. Same way we have Joker, Michael Jackson, Linkin Park. Any fan? No? At least you might have heard his name, the band Linkin Park, right? I tried so hard, I got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. How many of you know him? Do we have any cafe coffee day campus here? Restaurant? No. But at least you might have been to some. He is the founder and CEO of Cafe Coffee Day. The PG Siddharth. He was the only person in India at that time who could think of creating such a big business empire through coffee business, coffee plantation. And by his efforts, by his IQ, he boomed his business, not only in India but outside India as well. But it so happens as it always happens, there were some ups and downs in his business. At some point of time, the business was in loss and he was in debt. 2019, July 26th, he told his driver to stay here. I'm going for a morning walk on a bridge. He went to the bridge, but he did not came back. His driver waited for a few hours. He did not came back. So he searched for him. He could not find him. Then he did a police complaint. And later on, after a few days, 2-3 days, his body was found in the river. Means he committed suicide because he left a suicide note that I could not bear the pressure anymore. The same person with so much success at one point of time could not handle the reversal. Now, what happened after his death? His wife, what was her name? I forgot. She is one of the most influential in the list of influential ladies in India. Why? Because he has very high IQ, but EQ, of course, somewhere something was missing. But his wife also had very strong EQ. She took his position as a CEO, and see now, so far, a lot of debt has been cleared. And now Cafe Coffee Day is again growing because of her efforts. Yes. So many debt already cleared. So see, such a lady with what strong EQ can do. Same situation for both him as well as his wife. But one could not survive and one actually was able to get out of it. Right? Then another is student phase. You might have heard so many. In my own tenure of BTech 4-year life in my college at IIT Roorkee, I have seen myself 5 suicide cases. One of them was my neighbor only. He was third year, I think electrical student only, 9-pointer in IIT. So we cannot question his IQ level. Of course, he was good IQ, but he committed suicide. Why? Because things did not happen as per his expectations. One fine exam, and he could not handle it, and he committed suicide. You just open any newspaper any day, you will find a lot of news on this. He committed this, he committed suicides, like anything. So far, we have spent almost 1 hour. In India, per day, 370 suicides are happening per day in 24 hours. 24, yani 360 by 24. 2 means 9-10 suicides so far happened by the time I have started giving this seminar. So this is the situation. So 122 students of IITs, IIMs committed suicide in 7 years. Sometimes again, like because out of weak EQ, we fail to realize what actually our duty is. It's when I was in first year, along with me, like there were 1,000 students, new students in IIT Roorkee. And when they saw the independence, they got new independence out of, family life, and so many avenues to explore, so many new thrilling experiences. So they started, experimenting with all those thrills and experimentations, except studying. So at the end of a year, what happened? They got back. They failed in their exams. And so many students failed. So administration, they took a very, very strong measure. They restricted all of them. 72 students. It became a news in the newspaper that 72 students have been restricted from college because they failed the exam. Then so many big things happened. Parents came, they started crying in front of the director, formal protest, informal protest, and like police, so many things happened. We also participated. For us, it was adventure, first time, big protest. But the point is, see, if they could have realized, they could have used their emotional quotient, that instead of these adventures, apart from these adventures, the purpose for which I came to this college was to study as well. And if I don't do that, then I'll have to bear the consequences. And they had to actually. So these are some of the examples. This is like suicide epidemic, not very positive news. 800 million, this is worldwide, 800 million per year, about 2,200 per day, and 1 in every 40 seconds. Worldwide suicide are happening. Suicide rate, Indian students, 1 in every hour. So 1 student. 28 suicides reported every day. Failure in exam, 2,400 suicide in 2014. And shows that, okay, anyway, like a lot of suicides. Kota is also known as suicide capital for students, because they are not able to meet the expectations, they are not able to get into IIT or their desired rank, they are also committing suicide. Some are committing suicide while doing preparation only, because they realize, okay, at least I did not get the IIT, this is not possible. So what is possible for me now? Suicide. So let's do that in groups. So these are some of the unfortunate news. So it says that even though you have IQ, and even though you have a lot of emotional surges, and if you're not able to channelize them, if you're not able to utilize them in your favor, then what is happening? Then you will fail. And you will not be able to digest the failures. So the next thing that comes, that again, the most important psychometric factors is spiritual quotient. This is the fourth and the most important psychometric factors, that says spiritual quotient is the ability to understand that human beings have a need for meaning, value, and a sense of worth in what they do. Means apart from doing all the activities which we are doing, we should also do some spiritual practices which actually help us to realize, which actually help us to get a deeper meaning of life, a deeper purpose of life. Because what we do in generally, we can find that even animals are doing that. We may be doing in a polished way. For example, if you go outside, you will find a dog. He is sleeping on the road and he is eating whatever he is getting. We are not like that, but we are doing the same thing. We are doing eating. The activities are same, eating and sleeping. We may doing it in a polished way. Maybe we might be sleeping on a sleep-well mattress. And as far as eating is concerned, we might be eating in a restaurant or in a hotel or like at home. So our eating, our activities of eating and sleeping are more polished as compared to a dog's. So in Mahabharata, again, this verse, it says, Ahara nidra bhai maithunam cha samanya metat pasubhi naranam dharmo hi teshu adhiko vishesho dharme nihina pasubhi samana. So the point is, Ahar, nidra, bhai and maithun. Ahar means eating, nidra means sleeping, bhai means defense, and maithun means recreations. So all these are same in humans as well as animals. So then, of course, the way they are doing and the way we are doing, that may be different. There will be more refinement, there will be more advancement in the way humans are doing these activities as compared to animals. Animals, like anywhere they will sleep, anywhere they will eat, and but the point is, even humans are not compatible. We cannot compete in these activities with animals. For example, as far as eating is concerned, how much will you be able to eat? 1 kg, 2 kg. After that, you won't be able to take it, right? But if you compare with an elephant, how much he eats? 1 ton he can easily digest at one time. So we cannot compare with animals in eating. As far as sleeping is concerned, okay, in our college time, people used to make records. I slept 16 hours, 14 hours, like that. But a polar bear, he can sleep for months when he goes to hibernation, right? So sleeping also we fail. Then comes bhai, security. You see so many things, so many missiles, so many weapons we are making. But if you are left on our own to fight and defend yourself, we won't be able to do that much. But if you see a tiger, he don't need a weapon or your missiles and all those things. He defends with his own claws. He has that capability. So even from defending point of view also, we are not very much advanced. From Maithunam recreation point of view, suppose producing kids, how many, like we see twins are coming, like maximum 3-4 children. If you go outside in the village area, a pig, he can give birth to 20 children at one point of time simultaneously. So there also we cannot compete. So this Vedic text, they says that if as a human, if we don't develop our spiritual quotient, then we are no different than animals. In fact, we are known as Dvipad Pashu. Dvipad means 2-legged animal, right? I'm not saying this. This Vedic literature says this. So point is, there should be something different which actually sets humans apart from animals. There should be something which actually makes human a human. And certainly these are not related with those activities, Ahara, Nidra, Bhai and Maithun. So what is that? These spiritual practices. Even there is a very story that when some turbulence were going on during independence movement, and Britishers ordered to arrest Gandhiji. He sent one of his very trusted officer, and there was huge protest in front of the outside. Like protest means in favor of Gandhiji, that his followers were not allowing anyone to go inside. And then Gandhiji, like they were about to have a fight with whoever is coming to arrest Gandhiji. It so happened. Gandhiji said, no, relax, tolerate it. And he behaved with them nicely and all those things. So the officer was very impressed. He did not arrest him, and he went back and he reported to his general. And his general reported to his superiors, and he said that now it's time to pack up, because the way they are handling the emotions, instead of acting reactively, we could have also killed them. We can just shower bullets on them. But the way he is handling, it means our time has come. Now it's very soon that we'll have to leave this place. So Gandhiji was able to do that because apart from IQ, EQ, he also had a very strong SQ. That was actually the foundation on which he wanted to build the society. The next is a very famous, another. Why I'm giving stories so many? Because you see, this is after lunch time. So if I bore you with technicals, anyway, you will have many technical seminars. If I give you only technical details, then it's more likely then you will go into slumber. So Alexander, you might have heard his name, right? So Alexander was on his way of conquering the world, and it so happened he came to India. And in India, there were 2 very famous exchanges that he had. One with the battle with King Porus, which actually impressed him very much. The second was his interaction with one of the saints. So Alexander's army or his group battalion was going, and there was a sage who was doing meditation, and he did not even open his eyes. Forget about giving respect. So Alexander noted it, and he sent his commander that, see, this says something is there. You go and find out why he did not bowed in front of me or in front of like my commanders. So his commander went and he said that do you know Alexander was going through from here. Alexander just went from here. So the sage opened his eyes and said, so so he said, okay. So he went back and said, you like but you did not bow. So he did not reply to that. He came back and he said to Alexander. Alexander was furious, of course, but he said that there must be some reason. So he came and he asked him that, see, I'm Alexander the Great, and you did not give any response when I was going from here. So he said that actually, why I should give importance and value to the servant of my servant. Said, servant of your servant. I'm servant of your servant. How come? I'm interested to hear that. So he said, see, I'm doing meditation here. I've controlled my senses. I've controlled my mind. And with my controlled mind, I'm doing the senses. On the other hand, you are so much, carried away by greed that you're not able to control your senses. You want this and more and more and more, even though you eat only a fixed number of chapatis every day. But still you want more kingdom. Even you want more kingdom. You're not satisfied. Means you are under the control of your mind. So I have controlled my mind. I have controlled the mind, and mind has still controlling you. So in that sense, mind is my servant and you are the servant of your mind. So means you are the servant of my servant, and therefore I should not give that much respect to the servant of my servant, and therefore I did not give any response to you. And Alexander the Great was very impressed. He said, yes, a saint of this caliber can do and can say this thing. So the very main symptom of spiritual quotient is wisdom. The wisdom, the practical wisdom which we apply in our day-to-day life. You see, even big people, no matter how rich they are, how famous they are, there will be people who can make them dance. For example, like suppose Mukesh Ambani is having a marriage at his house. So there are many celebrities who are also very famous, very rich. But if Mukesh Ambani wants, he can make them dance. Okay, you have to dance in my party. I'll pay you whatever you have. I'll pay you double than that. Right? But suppose a saint who don't have, he's a pauper. He don't have any money in his account. He don't have anything. Can Mukesh Ambani, because he has so much strong spiritual quotient, the respect and dignity for that sage will be so much that Mukesh Ambani, even though he is a billionaire, multi-billionaire, he cannot ask that sage to perform dance in his marriage. That is the level of respect and dignity. Automatically, with your spiritual quotient, it is commanded from audience or from others. So there's a tree. So the tree looks very good when it is fully grown. A lot of leaves are there, a lot of fruits and flowers are there. So these fruits, flowers and leaves, all these determine the responsibilities that we have, the achievements that we have, all these things. It looks very good. But when the windstorm comes, when the challenging time comes, what actually will determine that the tree will remain stable? What determines? Roots, yes. Sorry. So if the roots are not strong, even though you have big crown on the top, even though you have big achievements, but when the challenging and tough time comes, all this will be gone in an instant. Like in the case of Zidane we saw. So this spiritual quotient is actually these roots. It will help you to remain steady during challenging times. And if you see the railway tracks, so they are always parallel, right? At no point these two tracks will meet. So, and they have to be parallel in order to, make transportation possible. So we have different things. This line is important. This line is also important. But there is something more which is also very, very important. And those are these planks. These planks actually give a stable platform so that these rail tracks can remain parallel and can sustain the weight tons and tons, like thousands or thousands of tons of locomotives as well as the engine, the bogies. So these planks play a very important role, although it may not be very much visible. It may be visible, but people generally doesn't notice. So if you take IQ as this track and EQ as this track, then these planks actually plays the role of SQ. So this is how important the role of SQ is. If you see the iceberg, some of you might have seen the movie Titanic. So generally what happens, icebergs looks very small over the surface of the water, but inside it's like a mountain. Some icebergs are like mountains. So like for this iceberg, the IQ is what immediately visible here, and EQ is giving the base, but the SQ is the bottom, like the complete foundation. So that that is the importance of the role of SQ. Then summary again, some of any one of you from architecture. Okay, never mind. I mean, at least you can relate with this. When we play games, when we make some building blocks, we know the importance of making good foundations, right? Or you might have seen if somewhere construction is going on. So this PQ is at the external level. I mean, if you compromise with any of them, you will realize that something is missing. Everything, all the fours are important, but at what level, what role they are playing, that you can see from this these layers. So I have yes. So in external dealings, in IQ and PQ, PQ is basically your health point of view. It likes the basic first layer, and if that layer is only not good, then you are in, of course, in danger situation. And IQ, EQ helps you to deal with the situation, but SQ actually help you to use your IQ and EQ to empower yourself. Okay. So what now, after realizing the importance of SQ, next question that comes is, what should we do to enhance our SQ? So again, in Oxford University, there is one research that conducted, and based on that, there was one thesis that was given. It was a handbook of religion and health by Dr. Going. So he says that there were some observations that I have taken out from that book. It says people who attended a spiritual program consistently at least once a week lived average 7 years longer than those who don't attend it at all. 7 years. It's a lot of time. Religious youth showed significantly lower levels of drug and alcohol abuse, premature sexual involvement, criminal delinquency, and suicidal tendencies than their non-religious counterparts. And then elderly people with deep personal religious faith have a stronger sense of well-being and life satisfaction than their less religious peers. So it says spiritual quotient makes the EQ power our power. Otherwise, either in the time of challenges, either it can break us or it can make us. It depends on how strong our spiritual quotient is. So again, one of the practices meditation, like very famous. Among that, there is another one very strong practice that is recommended is mantra meditation. So this is another study that was conducted in Florida State University. It says a clinical test of the benefits of mantra chanting was performed on 3 groups of 62 subjects, males and females of average age 25. I believe you all must be in 20s or 30s of your age. They chanted the Hare Krishna mantra 25 minutes each day under strict clinical supervision. Results showed that regular chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra reduces stress and depression and helps reduce bad habits and addictions. These results formed a PhD thesis at Florida State University. So this mantra meditation is like when you do meditation not on void, but on sound vibration. When you recite some mantra over a period of time and you hear that mantra and you focuses on that, it actually help you, because our body sound. Another study that was conducted in one of the University of Japan is they have a huge storage of water, and they actually studied the effect of sound vibrations on the frequency of the water. So first they used all kind of negative sound vibrations like shouting and like all the abuses and all those things. And they observed that there is no like as such no pattern among the sound like molecules. What they did, they replaced it with natural sounds of birds chirping and some music like that. And they observed that they were the molecules are taking proper shape and which has a pattern. And after some time, the frequency of the sound, it became resonant with the frequency of the molecules by which of the water. And our body is made up of 70% of water. So sound vibration plays a very important role. And therefore, this mantra meditation is highly recommended as in order to boost your SQ. Because sound vibration, like I said, it has an effect on water. Our body is made up of water. Therefore, if we focus on sound instead of void, if we do meditation, if we are hearing carefully what we are reciting, what like different mantras are there. So mantra means man and tra. It's a Sanskrit word. Man means mind and tra means deliver. Mana trayate iti sa mantra. So mantra meditation is like again one of the very powerful measures, and this is the PhD thesis that was conducted in Florida State University. And the brain frequency before and after this mantra meditation, it becomes relaxed automatically. After doing mantra meditation, it becomes relaxed, and relaxed means more productive, more focused, and you can easily be able to channelize it. So this is one of the snippets from that thesis. So there are different zones. There is hyperactive zone, active zone based on the wave frequency level, drowsiness zone, sleepy zone. You feel like laziness, you feel drowsiness, means brain frequency is too low to act. And if it's too high, like you become too much passionate, let me do this also, I'll do this and I'll achieve that and everything I'll achieve. And you spread your legs in 10 directions, at the end of the day, becoming confused, frustrated, not able to achieve a single thing. So that is hyperactive zone. So regular and constant practice of mantra meditation actually helps you to remain in this alpha zone, which is called relaxed at the same time alert zone. You are alert about your surroundings, at the same time you are relaxed as compared to hyperactive zone. And there are some different research papers on effect of mantra meditation. It says Dr. David Wolf, persons who habitually think depressing thoughts such as I am worthless, train themselves to replace these thoughts with thoughts that are rewarding and supporting of self-esteem. So with this, these are one of the very, like there are many other practices like reading good books. There was one study conducted by Forbes magazine on the successful elites in different fields, either in sports or politics or science. And they have observed some common traits in those successful people. And there were two very common traits that they found in their study. The one was most of these people are early birds. Early birds means they rise early in the morning instead of sleeping early in the morning. They rise early in the morning and use that time very productively. And the second is, even though they are very busy, they are big achievers in their life. So certainly they don't have much time to waste. Still, they take out a quality time of their life they invest that time in reading good quality books. Avid reader. So reading good quality books and this mantra meditation, this actually help you to boost your spiritual quotient. With this, I would like to end my seminar. The main thing is, like I said, just to summarize, for our overall personality, there are 4 psychometric factors: physical quotient, which actually are physical parameters, health, etc. primarily. The next is IQ. IQ is basically our logical thinking and interpretation of how things are and how it should be, all those things. But in order to use those IQ, sometimes even though having IQ, we fail to react to the situations properly, which we later regret. So in that, what EQ plays a very important role, which actually helps us to channelize that emotion. But even though it happens that when there is a strong surge of emotions, we just get carried away and we take very drastic steps. So in that, the most powerful, the SQ, which becomes the platform for EQ, IQ, and PQ. So that SQ actually helps us to remain stable and steady in all, irrespective of what the external situation is. So this SQ, like one of the common method that we can use to enhance our SQ is mantra meditation, one of the meditation, and reading like good books, like spiritual books. You can, like in this Kurukshetra, this one famous, like you can consider Bhagavad Gita, like that. They are different. So with this, thank you very much. If you have any questions, any comments.
So the session is now over. So it is open for question answer. So participant may ask some question.
The topic is search for happiness.
Yes.
So how can we find happiness in our life, daily life?
Like I said, so first of all, there is the conception of happiness is different. Like some people think that, okay, right now I'm, like, for example, I'm doing job. So for me, happiness means, I can consider that happiness means earning more salary, getting more promotions, like that. But again, I gave you the examples of two different people. It depends of what perception of life you are having. Perception of the external world as well as whatever is going through you, with you. So a person who is earning 10,000 rupees, he is living a simple life. He don't have much desires, much demands unnecessarily. There is two different things, needs and desires. Needs, of course, everyone has to meet regardless of what he is doing. And desires means on top of that, if you have some more luxurious things you want. But if he realizes, okay, my needs are satisfied and I'm happy with living this simple life, I'm satisfied. So he is relatively happier as compared to the person who is earning 5-figure salary, but he's thinking, okay, a little more, let me endeavor for that. So he will remain in that anxiety that I'll have to gain more and more. And then again, these emotions of greed, emotions of anger, because emotions right now, he has this desire. If it gets fulfilled, his greed will increase. For example, I have a 5-figure salary. I have now greed for, some more. So suppose it becomes 6-figure, then I'll have, again, my greed will increase. And at that time, I'll not be satisfied because this is how my tendencies are. I'll now aspire for 7-figure salary. And there are two cases. If it gets satisfied, greed will increase. If it doesn't get satisfied, my anger and frustration will increase. Oh, why this not happened? I tried so hard and I worked so hard, but in the end, someone else got promotion. I remember one person committed suicide because he did not get appraisal. I mean, just for that reason, or because he thought that some other became more prominent in my team, like that. These are petty reasons. So one of the very symptom that you are happy in your life is satisfaction. And when you have very strong this, especially EQ and SQ, then you will. Sorry. So when you have very strong EQ and SQ will actually help you to reflect and go find a deeper meaning of life, what actually matters in the life, and how you can enhance your relationships with people. Because many people, even though they have big achievers, they don't have very good relationships with their friends or their families. So in one direction or other, because they are not perfect, they don't have, they are lacking in one of these questions, so they're also lacking in some sections in their life. If they are big achievers, they don't have good relationships. If they have good relationships, they are not have all the needs, they are not able to fulfill all the needs in their life. So these 4 factors will actually help you to improve your personality in all the directions, so that you can also achieve what you want to achieve in your life. At the same time, you will be able to remain satisfied regardless of how much challenging and provoking situations external world is giving to you. We see that sages, they don't have much facilities. They are doing more austerities also. They are living very austere life, but they remain satisfied and they remain happy, compared to a person who is super rich. But he becomes super rich, he has even more anxiety. Okay, I have so much amount. Some people might steal it. I'll have to think of the protection of that so much money in my bank. How should I protect it? Every time he has this anxiety in his mind. Even his relatives are coming, he will see from that point of view. You see that he might steal, or he might take some favors or something like that. So these SQ especially will help you a proper perception how to live a life. Okay. Hope that answers your question. Anything else? I guess.
So, I have completed the topic, search for happiness. You have any? Sir, I have just check for my doubt. We are searching happiness, obviously, but this happiness is changing time to time.
That is pleasures. There's difference between pleasures and happiness. When we get anything new, suppose when I came, I brought a packed gift box and I give one gift box to all of you. You will become very happy at that time that, okay, something is there. And after you open that and you will find, okay, some sweet is there. You ate that. After that, pleasure, that happiness which you felt, that was gone. So whenever something new comes, something adventurous, something thrilling we see, we always feel some kind of pleasure. But that is not happiness. There's difference between pleasure and happiness. Pleasures are very temporary. Happiness will give you long-lasting satisfaction.
Because we are doing research, so our aim is to publish paper. Whenever I will get paper, publish paper, then I will be so happy. Yes. Otherwise, yes. So I feel happiness in the publishing paper. And after over this PhD task, then our happiness behind nice girl.
I'll get married. I'll get married.
So happiness is changing time to time.
Actually, those are our criteria of defining happiness. These are our own criteria of defining happiness, that when I get this, I'll become happy. When I get that, I'll become happy. If you compare that, there is a person in this world, you can find it also very easily, who has published his paper and who has also got married to a very beautiful girl of his choice. Is he happy? How he is doing with his life? So something we can also experiment on ourselves to understand what will be the outcome. But there are first class observers or first class students are those who actually learn from others' experience. So we can understand from that point of view that these are just our own classification, our own conception, that after getting this we'll become happy. But we can become happy at every point of time, irrespective of whether my paper got published or not. Of course, that is kind of setback, but if these factors are strong, we'll be able to deal with them. Or perhaps at least we will realize that we are not meant for this.
Sir has completed topics. Yes.
Yes.
So please, what makes somebody who is receiving like 1 lakh not satisfied, and then somebody receiving maybe 3,000 rupees satisfied? What was that?
Sorry, what exactly is the question? I got the two cases. Okay.
Yeah, you were saying that scenario, somebody is receiving 10,000 rupees.
Okay.
Satisfied. Somebody receiving 1 lakh not satisfied. Why are those receiving the normally satisfied, and then those receiving high not satisfied?
No, I'm not saying that those receiving less, they are satisfied. Also, it's very rare to find a person who is earning 10,000 and satisfied when he sees the other person is earning 1 lakh. So it's not that easy. But like I'm saying, a person who has these factors, who has strongly worked, like who have a strong IQ, EQ, SQ, and PQ, they think, okay, actually they understand what is the reality, how much I'm capable of, and how much should I endeavor, and so that I can make balance with my relation. I can work hard, I can work and go on working hard to earn more and more money. But at the same time, what I will compromise with, I might compromise with my relationships, I might compromise with my other dreams. So is it worth to compromise with all these things and earn more and more money? So a person who has these factors is strong, he will understand, okay, what actually matters in my life and then he will make a balance. And with these things actually help him to remain satisfied. Okay, this much I'm earning, I could have earned more, but with this much I'm able to focus on other things which actually matters in my life as well. So that actually gives him satisfaction, and that actually gives him a good consolation and backing that okay, I don't need to take unnecessarily anxieties that I'm not having that lifestyle which the other person is having. You got what I'm trying to say? You all are PhD candidates. Perhaps most of you are senior to me only. So it's
actually the cause of suicide among students in the the cause of suicide.
you are asking the details.
Is there Nisha there to show the cause of suicide among students?
Well, how many students are committing suicide? Why they are causing? The same reason that they think, okay, most specific, all the reasons we cannot note it down. The primarily, like I said, I have witnessed 5 suicide cases. Most of them are this only, that I did not expectations. Their expectations were that I will get this, then only I will remain happy. And when they, for example, one person, like I said, 9-pointer, he got less marks in one of the exams. He could not handle that. Like in IITs, NITs, what happens? The students who come, they are toppers of their schools, they are toppers of their classes at least. So all are like lions. So when so many lions assemble at one place, so there will be lion among them also, right? So the other lions who are habitual of having success of becoming a topper in their schools, when they get less grades, when they get less marks, so this goes like against their expectations. Okay, I was always honored as a topper in my society, in my family. Now I've got this less marks, so less rank. What face I will show to my parents? So these are petty things which can easily be dealt with if one can work in this direction.
Right now, is provide meditation. It is possible.
Yeah, this mantra meditation, I mean, of course, we all have 24 hours, at least 5 minutes. We give so much time, so much our valuable time to sleep, which is of course important. Unnecessarily sleep also we give a lot of time. Take out this habit of doing 5 to 7 minutes meditation. See, we all wanted to live an adventurous life. Some of us go to mountains. I mean, already there is so much winter. Yeah, I'm saying, so take this as an adventure of practicing this mantra meditation 5 to 10 minutes daily. So what you can do, just you can sit straight so that you don't fall sleepy. You can close your eyes, sit straight, all of you, and just we can do mantra meditation for okay, this is unshared. No, this mantra meditation was that Florida State University. The mantra on which they did their PhD thesis was Hare Krishna mantra. So we can meditate on the same Hare Krishna mantra for 5 minutes. I'll set the time. You all can sit straight, your back straight, and doesn't matter where your mind is going, but try to bring it back as soon as you're realizing that it is going somewhere, and try to hear the sound. That is important, because in mantra meditation, mantra is the object of meditation. Okay, so try to hear the sound attentively. Everyone, hello. Okay, focus. Actually, in 2000, the attention span of humans were 15 seconds. But after these smartphones, these gadgets, and the mind, it has become 8.5 seconds. In aquarium, if you go, there are golden fish, small golden fish, very fickling. If you go here, run here and there. Even those fish have attention span of 9 seconds. It means our attention span has even went down than this golden fish. So at least this mantra meditation will help you to improve your attention span as well. Okay, so sit straight and you can repeat after this mantra, or you can first you can repeat after this mantra after me, and then we can do together for 5 minutes. Okay, close your eyes and sit straight, and just try to recite louder so that you can hear your own sound. Okay, so the mantra goes like this: Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now I'll recite louder so that you will be able to follow me, but you also recite and try to hear your voice. Okay, the same mantra we can recite together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you very much. Hope you will feel little brainwave frequency a little relaxed. So if you do this, just give 5 to 7 minutes or 10 minutes every day, and you will see the changes or impact it adds to your life. Try it yourself. I can say a lot of things, but better you understand yourself and you see yourself how it is working in your life. Okay. So with this, thank you very much.
So now, I would like to thank Dr. Aditya sir. He has completed this wonderful topic. search for happiness. So afterward discussion, we understood this, it will be achieved by the meditation. So one more meditation we did, and based on this experiment, we can easily understood this, we can search happiness. So this is also not really task or topic, but not lower than PhD topic. Because this is the whole, this topic for whole life. Yes. Yes. So we should conclude behind this. Thank you. Thank you to everyone.
Pen drive.
And